Hello and welcome to the 37th installment of the Synapse Misfire Podcast. I'm your host, Chris, along with our co-host, Jordan.
That's me.
That's him.
That's me.
We're still remote this week.
Still remote, so for those who may be new, that's why we sound like shit, I promise. The audio's usually a lot better.
I mean, we also just sound like shit in general. Chunk is yelling about something.
God damn, boy.
Oh, he almost fell, too.
Don't worry, Chunk is yelling in the background. The straight pipe civets are in the background for me, so.
He just jumped up on a table and almost tripped and fell. Stupid idiot.
That would have been funny.
It would have been.
So, kind people of the internet who are listening to this show, first of all, thanks for joining us. If you're, interested in following along with us or listening in the future, listening to old episodes, whatever it may be, you can listen here on YouTube. We also upload IRL content and potentially some gaming content eventually to the YouTube channel. Of course, you can find us on your favorite podcasting apps: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Radio Public, Breaker, Pocket Cast, and Google Podcasts. We're all in those apps natively, as well as our RSS feed. Import it into your favorite podcasting app. What were you going to say, Christopher?
I was just saying that all that extra stuff in addition to the podcast is all going to be spotty at best.
Spotty at best, exactly.
How it's released, because we don't have a lot of time.
Or money.
Especially between the both of us. So lining things up can be difficult. And sometimes we have a project in mind and it doesn't go as well as we thought, or it's not interesting or something like that.
Or someone dies and we have to kind of hide their body off camera. And it's a whole fucking fiasco. So, keep an eye out for some IRL content. That's basically what we're saying.
Yeah, there'll be more. It's just a matter of, it's not going to be as regular as I hoped initially.
Initially, yeah. It's tough to guarantee. But we do try to make good content when we do, even though it is spotty, but we do try to make good content, entertaining content. And I think we succeed sometimes. Not always, but sometimes.
Sometimes.
But if you have content suggestions as to what you'd like to see, or comments, questions, concerns, and death threats, you can always send those in via email to synapsemisfire@pm.me. You can also reach out to us via Instagram. Our Instagram handle is just Synapse Misfire. Not the official Synapse Misfire podcast, because for some reason, according to a certain someone whose name rhymes with piss, that was too much.
Yeah, that's fucking pretentious.
I wanted that goddamn name, okay?
It doesn't mean it's not pretentious.
Doesn't mean I didn't want it. Bitch.
That's fair.
But no, reach out to us via Synapse Misfire handle on Instagram. We would have a Twitter, but fuck Twitter.
That's true. Twitter's a shit tier platform, I'm going to be honest with you.
We don't do as much with the Instagram as I'd like to. So going forward, I think I'm going to try to guide us a little bit to do a little bit more. I think Chris could probably agree a little bit at least. Maybe post some more behind the scenes stuff or shit like that.
Yeah.
For when we do those projects. Because literally
Something
there's
like
one
that.
video up there, and it's of a tease of a video that got canned.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's not exactly the most up-to-date thing, but you can still contact us there. May or may not see it, may or may not care. No guarantees, all right? We're busy men. We're busy boys.
But the email thing.
Email's perfect, yeah. Email us.
If you send us an email, synapsemisfire@pm.me, we will definitely see that.
Yeah, we'll read it out on the show. We'll react to it on the show.
I actually switched my Proton Mail app on my phone over to have that email on it because I don't check my other Proton Mail email.
That's commitment right there, ladies and gents. So send us something there. We will read out any sort of death threats, anything like that. Also, send us gift cards. We started that last episode. So send us some gift cards. I like Amazon and Dunkin'. Chris likes anything you can eat. So.
Yeah. It doesn't matter what it is. I'll eat it.
Yeah. And I know Chris well enough to say, send him some Five Guys gift cards.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
Actually, wait, is Five Guys local to us?
No.
Okay, just making sure. So yeah, send Chris the Five Guys gift cards. He'll die for some Five Guys.
Dude, I have a Five Guys story I want to jump into.
All right, let's fucking go. Kicking it off today with Five Guys.
Yeah, so I went to a Five Guys, a different one than I usually go to, because there's two around here. But this particular Five Guys, it sort of shares a parking lot with a Chick-Fil-A. And people come through there, and the parking lot is super narrow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, my truck isn't very long. It's like a small truck, right? It's probably like 1.5 of my truck lengths.
Mm-hmm.
It's so fucking narrow. So, where I'm parked, there's a full-size pickup truck next to me. Right? A Ram 1500. And there's a Silverado in the spot behind me. Not directly behind me. They have two rows of parking spots that are opposite each other, and then there's a little area to drive through. In that area between the spots. So there's someone in that spot opposite me, basically.
Yeah, so it's super fucking tight between the truck and
so
the person
I'm
opposite.
fucking Austin Powers in there, dude. I had to make like an 85-point turn. Now, all of this while there was someone in an SUV inching up on me every so often. Just inching up on me as I was trying to fucking maneuver my way out of this place. And by the time I actually made enough progress to had enough clearance to get out, I stopped for a second. I completely stopped moving. And I was like, I'm fucking fuming right now. I was so mad. I made sure there was clearance on the road where I was about to pull out, and I just fucking did a burnout in my truck getting out of that parking lot. I was so fucking mad. And I just sat there the whole ride home fuming, squeezing my steering wheel. I was so mad.
Radio off, you're just like, what the fuck?
I had the radio on. I wasn't paying attention to it, though.
You're just shaking.
I was so goddamn mad. And on top of that, someone tried to pull out in front of me to make a turn. Turn while I was at a light, while I was going through the light. They tried to turn while I was going through the light. And I said, don't even fucking try it, because I will hit you. I don't care right now. I'm mad.
I'm angry.
I'll hit you and I'll keep going. I don't give a shit. So maybe we shouldn't send the Five Guys gift cards then. It might be a little too soon to go back there. You just go to a different one.
True. You could go
There's
to the other
multiple
one.
throughout the area.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I've had Chick-Fil-A once and it was very underwhelming.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't get much though. I just got their like chicken fucking nuggets or tenders, whatever they are, and their like waffle fries, and I was like, yeah, this is okay. But I drove all the way here.
Well, for fast food, they're pretty good.
Maybe that's the thing. Maybe for fast food, they're really good. That's probably what it is. It's they're like fucking gnarly for fast food. But like I drove all the way there for some reason to try it, and I was like, oh, could have went to McDonald's, man.
Again, cut this out. But which one did you go to? Oh, because I know there was one in like
yeah,
Warwick.
it's near Dick's Sporting Goods. That one, yeah, in Panera.
Okay, then yeah. Oh, that is a hike for you though. So
it's a bit of a hike, yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah, it was good. I mean, I'm not gonna say it was bad, but I should have probably got more. I know the chicken sandwich is fucking nasty, dude. Hell yeah.
Yeah, you need to manage your expectations, right? You're going to a fast food joint, and that shit goes bananas for fast food. And like, you think about how much how good like McDonald's is, and then how much better Chick-Fil-A is than McDonald's.
That's the thing, dude. McDonald's is like not good at all. It's just greasy fucking death. You want to shut up out there? I love McDonald's, dude. I ate it on Saturday after our last recording when I had the Rona. I went to McDonald's, ate it, and after feeling like shit at your house, I ate it, and then I felt like shit and went to bed at like 8:30, Chris. I went to bed at like 8:30, dude, and then I woke up.
What did I do? I think I might have gotten Chick-fil-A. I don't remember.
Oh yeah, that's a little behind the scenes thing for you guys out there. After the podcast, typically I'll go home and I'll get like a McDonald's, or I'll just go home and eat at home. And Chris always leaves right after me and gets like Chick-fil-A or Five Guys.
I get like some ungodly amount of food.
Yeah, and rarely, sometimes, very rarely, we'll just go together. We'll go to like Five Guys together.
That's true. I think last time we did it was me, you, and Alex when we
Yeah.
did that episode.
The radio video, yeah. And the podcast,
So-
yeah. We need to get Alex on the show again. Today would have been a perfect day. Could have hopped on the fucking remote.
It could have been a good one. I wanted to bring him back for Godzilla vs. Kong, and we are going to do that today, and we just, obviously, coronavirus.
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
ask him if when we see him or whatever. Just text him after this. We can just see if he can get in on it for next week. So we're thinking about doing
let him know.
Godzilla vs. Kong. We promised it to you guys, okay? We know we're late. We promised it. We stick by our promises here on the Synapse Misfire Podcast channel, whatever you want to call it. We stick by our promises. So
Yeah, we promised you Godzilla vs. Kong. The way we ended up recording, it was going to be today, which I mean today in the sense of April 10th today.
yeah,
Was going to be the day we were going to talk about it. It was going to be our spoiler thing. And then Jordan done gone and got COVID. So
yeah. And then Chris,
we couldn't go to the theater.
Chris done gone and got wrecked, stuck home by work. So I was gonna fire him. They're like, Chris, if you get COVID, you're fucking done.
If you get COVID, we're going to send people to your house to execute you.
Yeah. So we see that's the thing too. We could have technically recorded today. I'm released today, and so are you. I was released like 4 days ago. I'm like way over the COVID hump by now.
Well,
But
here's the thing: is it's just like a safety thing.
it's just a safety thing. I just want to make sure no one gets sick ultimately. So,
yeah,
like I said last episode,
just to
so
make doubly sure.
and arguably recording remote is kind of cool too. I like it for its charm, but
Yeah, and the thing is, right, I said this, I think what might have happened is I actually might have gotten the virus, and then I said this, and it got angry and left. I said, if I get COVID right now, towards the end of the pandemic, I'm going to be pissed. And then, any COVID around me just left.
they're like, oh fuck, this guy, he's a
I
dickhead.
willed it away.
Yeah, I mean, if I just thought about it, I was just like, I'm not getting COVID. I would have just not got it, you know? I just had to
I'm
think
just
about
not
it.
going to get it. I just simply will not. I'm built different.
I played Siege last night with my brother, and we had a guy in the match called Built Different, and he was talking shit, and we shit on him, right? So I was typing to him, and I go, yeah, built different, built like a Smurf in your fucking mom's basement.
Damn.
Dude, he was so sad after I said that.
He just fucking shot himself that night.
I also had a guy call me the N-word. I love Siege.
Oh, nice.
So that was fun.
What a good community they have.
Oh yeah, it's great. Siege is one of the best communities for good people and one of the best communities for bad people. So
I just had someone call me the N-word just because. Have you seen that? Have you seen that video on TikTok? The guy doing getting called a slur in Call of Duty speedrun.
no, that sounds fucking awesome though.
Oh, it's a good one. He joins a lobby as a black guy. He joins a lobby and yells Black Lives Matter into the mic, and he immediately gets called the N-word.
Ooh, that's fucked, dude. That sucks. Oh my god.
That's really fucked up, but it's funny.
That's fucked up, but it's funny. Yeah, that's does he do anything else, like other speedruns for it, or is it just the one?
No, I don't
video?
know. It might have been just the one. You could probably find it pretty easy. It's a pretty popular one.
Yeah, I know people did. I think it was speedruns to get banned in certain games, like Siege, where
Or
it has battle line.
speedruns to get banned in certain Discord servers.
That too. Yep, that too. Or Reddit subreddits. That's the other thing. Fucking Reddit, dude. Ah, shit. But Chris, moving on to something actually on the notes. You have anything else you want to say before we do? COVID.
Nah.
So, how was your Red Dead 1 wrap up? I noticed that's on the notes, and we didn't talk about it last episode. But what's going on with that? You beat it?
I picked up the game again and I finished the game, because I only had another 4 hours of the game left.
Yeah. Any epiphanies?
Epiphanies? No, but I did have a moment because obviously I already knew how the game ended. But I hadn't actually beat it before. So
spoilers for Red Dead 1 and 2 ahead, so might as well just get that out there.
Yeah, Red Dead, it came out in 2010.
Yeah, but I assume we'll tie it into Red Dead 2 somehow, so just in case.
Anyway, so the end, there is sort of a chapter system in Red Dead 2. In Red Dead 1, they don't announce it like they do in 2. But basically you have your beginning chapter where you do Fort Mercer, and then you go to Mexico, and that's a thing. No, I mean the raid on Fort Mercer after
at
you
the
get
end.
shot the first time.
Yeah, because you get shot the first
Prepare
mission.
and then you do the raid.
Yeah.
Then there's the Mexico chapter, which is a really interesting one, I think.
Oh yeah.
Because it's you kind of have you get a lot of into the theme of the game is like it's a very, very much like a game of broken promises. So you have to deal with all the Mexican military people, and then the rebels, and they just kind of jerk you around for a while. And then you have the chapter where after you get Bill and after you get Javier, you kill them both, and you have to go back to Blackwater. The chapter after that, which is that chapter is where you have to kill Dutch. And then the chapter after that, where you actually go back to Beecher's Hope, is amazing. It's outstanding. You build up your farm, you get all this back, you get cattle, you start to bond and make amends with Jack and Abigail and whatever. And I'm going to be honest with you, Jordan. There's a point in that chapter, because I already knew it was coming. There's a point in that where they're like, there's like moments with Jack and stuff, and I was like, I'm not going to lie to you, Jordan, I almost cried.
Yeah.
In that game.
Yeah.
And then the ending happened. And there was actually a thing with the ending, the very end where you're in the barn and you get Jack and you send away Jack and Abigail. My game was glitched. So there was a model of Jack just posted up behind me the whole time while John is like looking out
for
into
accepting fate.
The crowd. Yeah, and then you get out and my game like glitched again. So you're supposed to get out of the barn and it's supposed to immediately go into Deadeye. So that you just fire at will and then you get shot and killed. But basically what happened was I opened the barn door and John just stood there for like a minute and then went into Deadeye and it happened.
That's fucking funny, dude.
So it's kind of ruined for me, but honestly, I really liked the game. It was definitely, like I said, a game of like broken promises. Dealing with like I guess the first one that really the first set of guys that really jerk you around, I guess, is Nigel West Dickens and the guy Seth.
Oh, fucking
the grave
Seth.
robber.
Yeah.
The grave robber. And then you get like Allende and then the rebel guy, Abraham Reyes.
Yeah.
He kind of fucks with you a little bit. So it's it's definitely like the story still really holds up. It's just the game as a game doesn't really hold up as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not like there was a point where I was trying to fight. You have to fight your way up to Dutch.
Yeah.
Like up a mountain. And I was getting like 6 frames the whole time.
Yeah. So from a technical perspective, it's not quite what you remember or what you can like achieve with Red Dead 2 on PC now.
Yeah, or it wasn't what I remember either. The game just ran like dog shit a lot of times.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what's interesting. Is I don't remember it running bad at all. And
I don't either.
And I'm sure it does. That's the thing.
But a lot of you'd be surprised, a lot of like the DNA is consistent between the Red Dead 1 and 2. And I didn't do a ton of the side missions and stuff, but there's definitely a lot of interesting ones.
Yeah.
The map is definitely a lot more barren, but
yeah, it's not nearly as lived in, even with the strangers.
Yeah.
It's not quite Red Dead 2 level. That's what's interesting is like Red Dead 1. It's obviously a phenomenal game. It is, undoubtedly, but it is, not nearly, I'd say, as polished, of course, as Red Dead 2, but that's because they're just games from different eras. That's
true. You need to consider there's 8 years between those games.
Yeah.
It's like the jump from GTA 4 to 5.
Yeah. It's like Yeah, they're exactly like you kind of said before. They share the same DNA, but they're two fucking different entities, you know?
They're different animals.
Yeah. So, that's, that's cool, though. At least you, got to play through it. It kind of rejogged your memory, obviously, with certain things, and it's a good thing to replay after Red Dead 2, of course. But, now you can kind of set it to the back until maybe 8 years from now, if we're just like, hey, I want to play Red Dead 1 again for some reason.
And I am going to play Undead Nightmare.
Yeah, I was going to ask if
that's pretty short.
If you touched it. It's
I haven't
short,
played it yet,
awesome.
but I am going to play it.
Yeah. Undead Nightmare is awesome. That's pretty fucking sweet too. There's a rumor going around too that The Last of Us 1 is getting remastered for PS5. I don't know if you saw
really?
that at all. Yeah, so that seems kind of cool. I'm not sure I really want them to being honest with you. I kind of, as much as The Last of Us is like one of my favorite series as a whole, and like they have the new HBO show that I'm hyped for, I think they should kind of maybe cut their losses with the series after what happened with The Last of Us 2. No, just genuinely, because like there's not much they can do after The Last of Us Part 2. There really isn't. Not with that same characters anyway.
That's fair.
So I think they should just, maybe remaster the first one, I guess, but I don't think there's necessarily a reason, especially because it doesn't. The Last of Us 1 doesn't suffer from like the Red Dead treatment, where like the second one's obviously much more visually impressive, but the gameplay is basically identical, but just more limited in the first game. It's the same shooting mechanic. It's just as enjoyable now as it was then. So, I think they don't really need to remaster it.
It's too soon for a remaster, I think.
I would say so. It came out in 2013. It'll technically be the second remaster because it got remastered for PS4, but they call it a remaster. It was just the upscale. It got remade essentially for PS4 with like higher res textures and shit. So there's really not a need. They don't need to kind of stretch it 3 generations. Actually, if there's a game Naughty Dog should remaster, they should remaster Uncharted 1. That's what they should do.
Didn't they do a remaster of all the 3, the Nathan Drake collection? Wasn't that a remaster of them?
That's not a remaster, no. It's just a collection and a port. It's not like remade or anything like that.
Oh.
But like if they're ground up remaster, then I think they got to do like Uncharted 1, because that's the one Uncharted game that's kind of like, yeah, this is good, but not nearly as good as the other 3.
But, having played Red Dead 1 on the original console in its original state, I'd much rather see a Red Dead 1 remaster.
Oh yeah, no, dude, Red Dead 1 remaster would be incredible. And I saw some people like arguing on Reddit about it the other day. And I'm siding with the people who were basically saying no to this. Someone was saying they want a Red Dead 1 remaster, but they want it to change kind of story elements to include like Arthur, essentially. And I don't think that's a good idea.
No, I just think because a remaster is supposed to be a more modern playable version of the original game. It's not supposed to modify the source material very much.
Yeah, it's not a reboot or like a remake. It's
exactly.
So like they were saying they want John to like reference Arthur and like talk about what happened, and I think there's a place for it, but I just don't think it should happen. I don't think it's necessary. Like I could see where it could be cool, but I just don't think it's necessary.
I can see why people would want that, but I would much rather have the source material itself unchanged.
Yeah, I would rather just have it. If I want to see anything, I want the mechanics from Red Dead 2. I want the horse that doesn't just spawn when you blow its brains out.
Yeah, that was definitely a thing that was wild to me.
It was just not caring about your horse at all.
Just adjusting to the horse mechanics in that game versus in Red Dead 2.
And the weapon mechanics.
Well, in Red Dead 2, like, it has a name, and you, like, really care about this horse, and you do everything you can to keep it alive.
Yeah.
In Red Dead 1, when in Mexico, when you chase the stagecoach that Bill is on to finally kill him, there's a guy on the back of the stagecoach with a Gatling gun, and I was on a different horse at the time, but I whistled accidentally for my horse, and it just got fucking annihilated by the Gatling gun.
God damn, dude.
I looked over, my horse is taking 60 rounds directly to its body. Just
fucking annihilated.
And then, because I have technically the Game of the Year edition, you have a Warhorse certificate with, like, unlimited uses. So I just spawned another one of the exact same horse.
Yeah. So it's very jarring.
So, yeah, it's strange, and I definitely like how Red Dead 2 did it a lot better.
Yeah. I know we talked about this, too. I liked the weapon system better in Red Dead 2, where you kind of pick and choose your weapons. I know there was a lot of, like, weirdness to it, where it would pick weapons for you or just, like, put them away. But,
yeah.
I mean, I've never been a fan of the GTA, like, weapon wheel style, where you just, like...
I think it makes sense in the context of GTA.
Yeah.
Because that game's already supposed to be kind of absurd.
Yeah.
But in the context of Red Dead, I don't think it makes as much sense.
I don't...
It's supposed to be a more serious sort of game.
It's supposed to be more serious, and as much as they're both sandbox games in a way, they're not. Like, I feel like GTA is a playground sandbox style game. When Red Dead has obviously those elements, but it's more of, like you said, it's a grounded, realistic, serious take on like a Western story, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't think GTA 6 should have fucking, you open your trunk to get your weapons. Like, I don't think that should be a thing at all. But for Red Dead 1, if they ever did a remaster, I would certainly like that. That would be cool. Also, I hope they kind of keep John's original look, because I honestly don't like the way John Marston looks in Red Dead 2, I'm being honest with you. Not a huge fan of it.
Why is that?
I don't know, he just doesn't vibe, and I think it's just because of how different he looks in Red Dead 1 compared to 2.
Yeah.
And I understand he's younger, but in the context of the universe, he's like, what, 12 years younger? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's a little much. 1899 to 1911. So he looks like he's aged 40 years in between the two games.
What I will say though, what I hope they would have ended up doing, was, work on Javier's voice acting.
Oh, is it bad in Red Dead 1?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, I believe that there's different voice actors.
Probably. It's probably just generic Spanish guy.
Yeah. Because you don't have a lot of context for Javier as a character in Red Dead 1.
Yeah, but obviously in 2 you do.
But Bill and Dutch, their voice actors are the same.
Yeah, and of course John. Yeah.
And John, yeah. And Dutch gives a much better performance in Red Dead 2 than he does in 1, but...
Well, he probably connected more with the character, you know? That's the thing, is like, the performance they give, first of all, of course, the technology's better. The game as a whole was just improved, but also, they've had a little bit more time in that universe, you could kind of say.
Yeah.
Where you can kind of fit the character. Like, you know, if someone was going to try to make a fucking movie or like an animated show or something like about us, they could try to just act like us, but after a few tries and seeing how you and I interact with each other, they can then kind of fit that criteria and better understand it. So, you know, Dutch as a character, okay, straight pipe fucking motorcycle this time, goddamn. Dutch as a character in Red Dead 1 is just, you know, he's this ETS gang member who arguably isn't that, I mean, he's a major character, but he arguably isn't. He's just kind of an ETS gang leader that you kind of hear about from secondhand stories.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's also the thing is, playing the game after having played that much Red Dead 2, is it gives you additional context. So if you look at it from the context of Red Dead 2, where he slowly has this arc where he slowly starts to, like, gradually go more insane.
Yeah.
And you can see in Red Dead 2 he's still taking advantage of people, as I would want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
Because he has a gang of consisting entirely of Native Americans.
Yeah, he's using them.
So he's just taking advantage of disenfranchised people.
Yeah, that's true.
Just like the original gang, really.
Yeah, it's just characters from different backgrounds in the original game that all kind of needed like a father figure in a way, or like a mentor. So
it's almost like you get the question of, like, was Dutch ever really good? He just got more crazy.
Yeah, was he ever good, or did he just, you know, eventually completely lose his character, essentially? So was he this manipulative con man for his people, but he just kind of hit it, you know, filtered himself, like we talked about filtering what you say.
Yeah, exactly.
And then by the end, he was just unfiltered. He was just the guy. That's true. When you think of it in that context, it's a little fucking crazy. Fucking what a universe, dude. What a game. What a series.
Yeah, like I said, I really hope they do like an origin story type thing for like Dutch or something or other.
I don't see why we can't just play as Dutch, young Dutch. I mean, I get that that's kind of the obvious thing, but like, I don't think that would be such a bad thing, playing as young Dutch.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is, right? I would take a game where I play as a Dutch, Dutch Van der Linde in his teens or whatever, whenever he kind of started to get into that world of crime. And it would be cool. It'd be good too, because you could get even more backstory about Dutch and kind of figure out like what happened in Red Dead 2. Like how was he in his origin, and how did he change by the time Red Dead 2 came around, and then how did he change by the time Red Dead 1 takes place? So you get like that.
Well, yeah,
complete
because
arc.
it's established even in Red Dead 1. They referenced that riverboat job in Red Dead 1.
Yeah.
So it would be nice to actually see the maybe have that be the culmination, the very
end
of this Red Dead Origin game, where it's that riverboat job and you have to be the one that pulls the trigger to kill the innocent woman or whatever.
Yeah, exactly, something like that, and you kind of see how it just fucking how it does what it does to him. So it would be very interesting. I also saw some leaks about a possible like Sadie Adler DLC, which I think would be kind of sick.
That'd be interesting. Him or a
Charles.
DLC with Charles.
Fucking love Charles, dude. I love Charles so much, dude. Fucking love him. Such awesome characters in that game.
Yeah, Sadie, she's a really good character.
She has a cool
I think
arc.
she had a really good arc.
Although her arc was really slow. I don't remember it being as slow as it is since I started replaying Red Dead 2, but I realized she doesn't come into her own until fucking Shady Belle.
Yeah, exactly. It's more of like, yeah, she's kind of there for a while.
Yeah, and then suddenly she's like this badass, which I was like, oh, okay, I get it. I understand now. It's kind of cool. She, she starts as like a widow, and then eventually she just ends up being like a fucking badass outlaw. So she's a good character.
Yep.
Charles would be a cool one to have another DLC off. Even like imagine a DLC where it's kind of like Javier after, where he went to Mexico before John obviously goes after him. That'd be something kind of cool to explore.
Maybe.
So I just hope they keep going, well, at least a little bit, the universe, and kind of the inverse of what I feel about The Last of Us 2.
But they should just stop.
I just think they should. I don't know. I just don't know where they're going to go. As much as it's literally one of my favorite games, the first and the second one, but it's like, I don't see any possibility. Like, I see with Red Dead how they could do an origin story and do it right, not just shovelware it in. But I just don't see how The Last of Us could do it unless they change The Last of Us 2 to The Last of Us Part 3 and then make something in between. So.
Yeah, no, that'd be stupid.
Yeah, so. Is what it is. Unfortunate. I'm also sad, Chris, because one of the games that I was very excited for was delayed.
Really?
Yeah, unfortunately. What game may I have been excited for that was made by the developers of Dishonored?
Oh, Deathloop?
Yeah, it got delayed till September.
Damn.
Hashtag
That
sad.
sucks.
Hey,
I was kind of excited for that game. It's always been kind of on the back burner since you showed me it originally.
yeah.
But I'm not affected. Like, I'm not upset that it was delayed because I didn't. It wasn't. No, excuse me. It wasn't something I was super hyped for to begin with.
Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, like that guy says, I think it's, like Miyazaki or something like that. A delayed game can be good, but a rush game is never good. So,
yeah.
I'd rather they
agree.
just, COVID affected everyone differently. They need their time. Just make a really kick-ass game. That's all I want. If it comes out in September, I just want it to be, oh, okay, I can see why this was delayed till September, not like, why the fuck was this delayed till September?
Yeah, like, how was this delayed? Like, and that's, I guess after Cyberpunk set that precedent, that a developer wants to avoid that as much as possible.
Oh, yeah.
The whole, how the fuck was this delayed sort of thing, or like, why did they release this now, or whatever.
Yeah. What were they thinking, That would be a tough place for any developer. A developer as large as CD Projekt Red, who arguably wasn't large until The Witcher 3 success. That
Not even arguably, they just weren't.
Yeah. They're still not even in a good place. So, not many devs could necessarily survive that level of backlash. Like, this isn't Rockstar we're talking about. This isn't Ubisoft, who has 10,000 IPs. Like, this is CD Projekt Red. They're still not that incredibly large of a studio. They've had, one major critical success. But
and then one major critical failure.
It's exactly. But if that happens to like the wrong dev, it could be end all be all for them. Look at BioWare with their last couple projects that have failed. They ended up basically getting dismantled and absorbed by EA. So,
well, but the thing is though, as much as it was kind of a really disastrous launch for Cyberpunk, they're actually cleaning up the game and fixing it up and whatever.
Yeah.
So, they're actually standing by the thing they made.
Yeah, well, honestly, they kind of have to, Like, could you imagine how much worse the backlash would probably be if they just were like, yeah, okay, cool, have fun?
Well, the thing is, they're doing the same thing, I think, Hello Games did with No Man's Sky, where they had the same circumstances, where there was so much hype, and then the game came out and it underdelivered to what people were expecting.
Yeah, and then that obviously.
But Hello Games went dark for like a year, and then they released a massive update, and it fixed like almost everything.
Yeah, anything you could have complained about.
Exactly, and now, I feel like CD Projekt Red is doing the same with Cyberpunk, but I think Cyberpunk was a much bigger release, or a much more anticipated release than No Man's Sky.
Well, it had a lot more backing to it,
Yeah.
No Man's Sky was like, yeah, this looks awesome, and people are hype at the promise, but it's like it was a development team of like 6 fucking people.
That's true.
CD Projekt Red isn't, so.
Yeah, but they're addressing more publicly with their updates. They're not like
hiding.
They said, "Oh, updates are coming," and then they've been gradually releasing updates. They haven't been like, "Okay, we're gonna disappear for a fucking year, and then now we're gonna release a massive update that fixes everyone's problems with the game."
Yeah. Which I think is both good and bad. I think it's a little bit bad because they've also delayed some of their updates. They set out like a roadmap with some promises, and then once again under-delivered on those promises by like what they expected February to look like for the game.
They just need to stop promising stuff.
Yeah, they need to just say...
They just need to stop. They just need to say an update is coming. We don't know when, but it's coming.
Exactly.
And then just finish it and then announce it.
Exactly. Because they did that right after the whole game backfired. They're like, okay, February we're going to have this content out. March we're going to have this content. And then February came and they were like, yeah, that content is getting delayed till March. So everything's actually pushed back. And people are like,
so yeah,
what the fuck?
we were busy being sued. So
we were busy having all of our assets seized. So
basically, yeah.
Yeah, dude, it's fucking rough for them.
Know.
Rough waters. I don't know, man. Poor team. Poor guys. And it's obviously not the devs. It's not the devs' fault. It's the fucking management.
No.
Like,
yeah, it's the people who actually developed the game, who actually made the game, have really no say in when it gets shit out. So
no, they just get deadlines handed to them. That's about it.
Yeah, which it sucks, but that's how things work.
Yeah, some exec in a suit rolls up in his fucking Rolls Royce and is like, "Hey, I understand that you're like hand animating everything in this game, but like, I need it by tomorrow." So, here's what it is. Poor failures. Fucking CD Projekt Red, man. I hope whatever's next for them is a great success, and they deliver on it.
I hope so.
Yeah, hopefully. Did you see there's a new... So there's The Witcher Season 2, by the way. But there's also The Witcher Blood Origin. You hear about that?
I did hear a little bit about that. That's the Elven
Prequel.
Origin thing, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Is that out, or is that...
It's coming out. I know... So I saw an article that their main character actually like quit or whatever, the main
Damn.
actor. I don't know if it was truly the main actor or if that was just like a clickbait headline, but I don't even know who they were talking about or what character it was. But I know someone recently just basically quit. But also, The Witcher Season 2 just finished filming. The Netflix Twitter account just announced it. I think it was a picture of fucking Henry Cavill and all his shit, just kind of holding up the action thing, whatever they call it. I don't know what it's called. I think when they clap it.
Oh, the slate.
Is that what it's called? The slate?
Yeah.
Yeah, they basically he's holding that up and it said finished or some shit like that. So that's cool. Season 2 should be coming soon, which will be hype. We'll be able to do a spoiler cast on that.
Probably another few months. Probably the end of the summer, something like that.
That's what I'm thinking. End of summer would be pretty good timing. We'll get to do our spoiler cast for that. We also have to rewatch Season 1.
Yeah.
Gotta do that.
But that show is fucking good, man.
It is, dude. That show is the only reason I'm like actually anticipating the HBO The Last of Us series. So.
Well, here's the thing: is like very often, like video game shows and movies just don't deliver.
Yeah.
And we actually talked about this before, where the Witcher series, it delivers content for fans and for people who are just watching it,
who just
like
want
general
like a fantasy
audience
show.
Yeah,
exactly.
So, I think it's interesting. I'm excited to see Season 2, and I'm excited to see the Blood Origin show.
Yeah, whatever. I don't even really know what it's going to be about. Like you said, it was something with the Elven origin of story. So, I'm just excited for more shit in that universe. Honestly,
it's a good one.
It is a good one. I think the Last of Us HBO TV show is kind of trying to replicate that same success on the same sense that like appealing to fans while also appealing to just whoever, someone who's into maybe zombie movies or something like that, because so far the casting that's been confirmed is the two main characters, Joel and Ellie. They're in it, like they're the main characters of the show, so it's gearing up to be some sort of canon universe thing with those two characters. So it could be like a retelling of the first game in a way, which of course would be somewhat appealing to fans. I still think a lot of fans wouldn't necessarily be satisfied because they've already played that story. Why would they want to watch it now? But that would be, of course, by basically taking two characters who are beloved by fans and introducing them in this new universe, you can kind of get that same thing with people who are just, into The Walking Dead or something like that, where they now are introduced to these two new characters, and if they can, replicate that same bond that they had in the game that made fans like them, they can get the same thing out of like an average audience member without having to dig too deep into the lore of The Last of Us. So I think it's probably a good move for them to basically start and use the same characters, because that appeals to both. If they started with like a random character from that universe, and they introduced like the Fireflies, which is like the main militia group in that game, no one's gonna know what the fuck that is. If they're just like, yeah, these are the Fireflies, everyone's gonna be like, okay. Fans will know, but your average,
Well, yeah, they have to introduce them in a way
that makes sense. So I think if, by having those two original characters from the game, it's gearing up, at least, to be kind of like The Witcher, where you introduce this guy, like in episode 1 of The Witcher, he's just fighting a monster, and if you don't know what a Witcher is, and you just see this fantasy show called The Witcher, you see him fighting in the very first scene, you're like, whoa, this dude's kind of fucking badass. And then you start to learn, a Witcher is a monster hunter with like kind of superhuman abilities, and he's a mutant, and it's fed to you, So
yeah, the only thing is like, because of the natural order of like how video games are, the whole like shtick of like a Witchers, they're supposed to be like kind of poor and they die really young, that sort of thing.
Yep.
But just because of the nature of how video games are, you become like a fucking unstoppable machine by the time you're like a third of the way through that game.
Yeah. That's
true.
True.
And you have like so much fucking money.
Well, it's like fucking Red Dead 2, where the whole plot is saving to go to Tahiti, but by mid game you have like $1,000.
Yeah, fairly early on in the game.
Yeah.
You have like
camp is fully maxed out. You have tons of money.
Yeah, camp is maxed out. You have like $2,500, which is like a shitload of money.
Yeah.
In today's money.
Oh yeah.
Like you could definitely charter a boat and go to a different country on $2,500.
Well, how many times?
And that's just your share.
How many times in Red Dead 2 in the story does Dutch go like, we just need to make a couple $100, but you're sitting there as Arthur with like fucking $2,600.
You have like $5,000 by the end of the game.
Yeah. So, exactly.
Which is like $200,000 in today's money.
Exactly, dude. So it's like you said, but in just typical game nature, like that's just how it is. So.
But that's just how video games are.
Yeah. So like in the Witcher show, it's cool. That's the other thing about the Witcher show, dude. Was like he's a badass, but he's not like overly badass. You know, like in the Butcher of Blaviken scene, like obviously, you know, you're not gonna no one's gonna do that, but like. He doesn't necessarily do the impossible, per se, you know?
I don't think it's out of the realm of, like... this is a weird way of how I'm going to phrase this, because obviously we don't have a reference of how a mutated human would would perform in a combat scenario.
Well, just find someone who survived Chernobyl and be like, hey, fight.
But considering the lore, I don't think it's out of place, the Butcher of Blaviken stuff. What I do think might be a little out of place is fucking mowing down hordes of drowners, like you do in the game.
Yeah. Yep.
Where, like, you hear about Witchers dying from an encounter with one drowner.
Yep.
So.
But you just mow them down in the game. They're like your base level enemy in the game.
They're like the bitch of the Witcher universe.
Yeah, true. Exactly. So, I don't know, man. I'm excited for season 2. I can't wait for that shit to come out. We'll do a fucking awesome spoiler cast on that one. Like you said, it's gonna be like a fucking school test. I'm gonna be taking notes.
Yeah, I'm gonna be taking notes on that shit, dude.
Yeah, that's what I did for I forget the last thing we did a spoiler cast on. Honestly, it might have been Cyberpunk. Was the last thing.
Cyberpunk.
I took notes for Cyberpunk, so.
I had a couple notes that I did, yeah.
Yeah, so that'll be cool. We got that. We'll have our spoiler cast soon for the Monkey Man versus the Lizard Man. So.
I was thinking about this last night. How a lot of movie concepts are just like, what if it was big? They're like, King Kong. They're like, okay, what if we take a fucking monkey, a gorilla, an ape, and just make it big, and everyone in the boardroom applauds.
Yeah. Yeah, basically.
Or like, what if we just take a lizard and make it big, and everyone applauds? But they said that in Japanese.
And he shoots lasers out of his eyes.
Yeah, it's like fucking nuts.
That's true.
Anyway, electric vehicles, Jordan.
Nice segue. You're not quite as clean as I anticipated with that one. You should have mentioned how, like, Godzilla shoots eyes, and that's kind of like electricity, and electric cars run off electricity. You know?
No, I want to talk about electric vehicles. I want to talk about vehicles in general, because there's a couple cool things I want to talk about.
All right, let's go for it then. This should be interesting, because we all know Chris loves a good electric car.
Well, I like the idea of an electric car. There's something interesting about how electric motors give an instant transmission of torque.
Yeah. Yep.
Whereas a gasoline engine will give a peak torque number under a certain condition in certain RPMs with a certain fuel. So,
yeah.
It's entirely dependent on a lot of things. But I've expressed outwardly that I don't like Tesla as a brand, or as a company, or Elon Musk as a person. So, anyway, I was watching a review for the new Chevy Bolt EUV, which is their like crossover thing. And I just was thinking, and I looked at the regular Chevy Bolt too, the just the regular hatchback one. Why do they all look so fucking stupid? Every electric vehicle, like ever since like Tesla's like the original modern electric vehicle, there were some like in the 80s, but original, like, viable electric vehicle in the modern era is Tesla. And now everyone's trying to copy Tesla. But the thing is, the only people who can get away with Tesla-type designs is Tesla.
Yeah.
Every other manufacturer that's tried to copy them has done a shit job. I think the best looking in terms of like an EV, like the most normal looking, I mean, is like the Mustang Mach-E.
I knew you were gonna say that. I was gonna say that's probably my favorite looking electric vehicle.
But like the Teslas look futuristic and it's all swoopy and weird, and I just don't like it as much.
Mm-hmm.
And don't even get me started about the Cybertruck. That's the dumbest fucking looking vehicle I've ever seen.
It's like a low poly render of a regular truck.
Exactly. It looks fucking stupid. Don't tell me, don't look me dead in my eyes and say it looks cool. I'm gonna smack you in the teeth. You're wrong. It looks stupid, and you know it. So, here's the thing. I think they should just take normal looking vehicles and put electric motors on them.
Yeah, I mean,
right? Is that so out of the ordinary,
well,
Jordan?
So think about it, Chris, right? I think you mentioned this, the type of people who drive
You don't
Teslas.
need an electric vehicle that just fucking screams EV to everyone.
Well, that's what I was going to say, though. You mentioned this about Tesla owners. They want you to know they own a Tesla. So
that's
most
true.
electric vehicle owners, not all, want you to know they own an electric vehicle. So if you just have your fucking V8 Mustang and it's the same body that your EV Mustang has, you don't realize that's electric. Yeah, you don't hear it, so then you fucking put two and two together. But you want it to look futuristic, because guess what? You're living in the future, buddy. You got an electric vehicle.
You're living in the future. You're saving the planet or some shit.
Yeah.
Even though in the United States, 95% of our power is made through coal plants. Maybe that's a different story in other countries, but here, that's just how the cookie crumbles, unfortunately.
Yeah. So
you're not really doing much to the environment.
No, it's a pretty negligible
Sorry to tell you this.
impact. You know, your Model S is not gonna, fucking stop global warming. So.
And don't give me that shit about lessening your carbon footprint. That's a bunch of hokey. That was started by oil companies to make you feel bad.
For what they do.
Even though but whatever, man. I just think we need more electric vehicles that don't scream electric vehicle.
Yeah. No, for sure.
And we need more fans of electric vehicles that aren't, I want to use a word, but I can't.
Does it begin with an F?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought so.
That aren't, like, self-righteous cunts.
Yeah, that's true. That would be a good thing to not be. So,
Exactly. Exactly. Speaking of vehicles...
Oh, I thought we were still on the
fast
topic of
vehicles.
self-righteous cunts.
No. We were talking about vehicles that are good for the planet. Now let's talk about vehicles that are bad for the planet. Chrysler has announced that they're putting a Hellcat V8 in a fucking Pacifica in the minivan.
Really?
They're doing a Hellcat minivan.
What the... Why? Just because?
I don't know. Chrysler's putting that fucking Hellcat engine in everything.
How much horse is the Hellcat engine? Do you know?
Like 710 or something.
Holy shit.
Because originally they did the Hellcat, the Dodge Challenger.
Yeah.
Then they expanded it to do the Jeep Trackhawk, the Jeep Cherokee Trackhawk. And they released last year, I believe, the Ram 1500 TRX, which is the Ram with the Hellcat engine in it.
Yeah.
And then they did the Durango with the Hellcat Durango. And now they're doing a Chrysler Pacifica Hellcat minivan.
So they're just basically slapping you in everything, like you said.
They're just putting this fucking massive engine in every single vehicle they make. Which I think more manufacturers should do.
Yeah, no, for sure. I will say one thing, at least in my experience with minivans, or, obviously not Hellcat minivans, but just minivans in general. Dude, don't sleep on a fucking minivan.
What makes you say that?
Dude, minivans are fucking powerhouses.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
I watched a minivan at my old job before my career, we'll call it, before even like mid high school, like freshman year when I started working my part-time job. I watched a minivan at our work. The lady was driving. I delivered food, essentially. She was driving. She crashed the minivan, right? And the wheel caught the side of a building. That fucking thing lifted itself off the ground and almost flipped over. No problem. And that was like 750 fucking RPMs, dude. It almost lifted itself over that fucking house. Like,
I want to say minivans are built for the kind of people who drive them.
Oh yeah.
So they're meant to be, how do I want to say this? They're meant to be kind of idiot proof almost.
Yeah.
They're meant to just be like, you can crash and just keep going. You don't notice the difference. You don't notice anything even happened.
The engine is like protected on all sides. They put like an engine and they make it extra covered so that way you can like smash it and you can still go. You didn't damage anything. It's just all exterior.
Yeah, or like or they do the thing where like if you tap someone's bumper, 18 airbags go off. But I'm interested to see those fucking Hellcat minivans hit the road.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah.
Fucking Karen going to soccer practice going 150 miles an hour down the highway.
You know how many people I see in the city here driving like a minivan and it's like this stoned guy and he has like a fucking exhaust tip on that makes it sound like it's some sort of sports car, and I'm like, bro, you're driving a minivan. What are you doing?
Well, here's the thing: is minivans are fucking cheap, secondhand minivans.
Oh yeah.
Is because as I'm assuming it's because moms buy them, and moms have their moms, they have kids, and kids fucking destroy vehicles.
Oh my god, they destroy anything that's valued at anything.
I've watched I watched this guy, the Detail Geek, on YouTube, and he was detailing he details minivans sometimes, and the messes that kids make in those vans is like it's almost like vasectomy fuel. I'm like, I don't want any little shits in my car doing this.
Oh man, yeah, that's fine. Melted fucking crayons, Cheeto dust.
Crayons. Yeah, there's like chicken nuggets just sitting there. There's like crayons, French fries, thousands of French fries.
All in
thousands. There's dirt, candy, chocolate, peanut butter, Cheerios,
milk,
slices
of fucking
squirrel,
cheese, a squirrel,
a dead rat. Like there's, I don't want any of that near me.
Toys everywhere, dude.
Toys, little fucking, little Jimmy's left Joy-Con. He lost 6 months ago and made you buy him a new pair.
His left Joy-Con, yeah, literally, dude. Like fucking kids, man.
Yeah, so that's the car news for this week.
Yeah, expect Hellcat minivans on the streets, on a street near you.
Hellcat minivan. That's ridiculous.
I don't see the reason.
That's absurd. I mean, there was arguably there was no reason to expand the Hellcat engine outside of the actual Hellcat.
That's true too.
Like, I don't know. I think more manufacturers should start doing that. I think like Chevy should, like GM should just start putting like a C8, like a Corvette C8 LS engine in every vehicle they sell. Make that a trim option.
I want them to bring the Cobalt back because they can't. They fucking canned it. They don't make it anymore. I want them to bring the Cobalt back, but I want that engine.
Jordan.
Yeah.
I have a question for you. When you get a new car, can we LS swap your Cobalt?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Sure. We're gonna do that. That's our project. Whenever Jordan gets a new car.
Yeah.
We're gonna get like an LS2 or something we can get cheap, and we're gonna swap it into his Chevy Cobalt.
And then we're gonna run over that guy who just drove by on a motorcycle.
You're gonna catch up to him
with an LS, yeah. I will go opposite the world's rotation like Superman, and I'll rewind time to this moment and fucking run him over. I will. That straight pipe Civic that I heard earlier, that was actually me from the future flying after that guy. Yeah.
Man.
What the fuck was I gonna say? I had something I was gonna bring up. Totally fucking escaped me at this point.
It's gone forever.
Gone with the wind. I had something. God damn it. What was I gonna say, Chris? I'm looking.
You tell me.
I'm looking around my desk to see if I can get a refresher. Not a Dunkin' refresher, but like a mental refresher. God fucking damn it. Oh, how's our video coming along there, boy? Have you even started it?
No, it's just not that interesting what we did.
Oh, this video isn't either?
So.
Damn. What did we even do? Oh, yeah, we did.
We just need to be more interesting, I think.
I think so, man.
We just need to find more interesting things to do.
Or make it more interesting. See, this is what happens with us, right? Is we start a project, and not necessarily that the project is the most interesting, but we get caught in the project, and we don't very much perform. We just do.
That's true. We don't put on a show.
Yeah.
Too much. We just fucking start doing stuff, and we just need to stop doing stuff and put on a show.
We basically we film us working on a project, and that's it. We're like doing a project, but we're just brain dead. We, like you said, we don't put on a show. We just monkey stuff. So yeah, we'll have to pick a project or something and put on a show, man. Put on a show. So
do something interesting. Make it more of a production of. We're making a video rather than we're doing a project. I think that's like first and foremost is like we're doing a project and then okay, we're also recording it. I think we should do the opposite.
Yeah. Yeah, instead of we're doing a project and recording it, we're recording a project. Yeah.
Yeah, like we're doing a video and our like number one bottom line is to be entertaining.
Yeah, true. So that's kind of how we should approach it. That would help with that IRL content flow because believe it or not, guys, we've uploaded I think 3 IRL videos and we've recorded like 6, and 3 of them have been canned.
Yeah.
So fun times. So yeah, we'll have to plan the next project or the next video and kind of go from there and put on a show. Be showmanly. So
put on a show.
I'm just gonna record the whole thing naked. That'd be entertaining enough.
That would be a show, I think.
Well, newsflash, I'm a grower, not a shower, man, so it won't be much of a show.
What is driving by your house right now? You hear that?
It sounds like a really, really angry bee just flew by.
Yeah, it's a his VTEC kicked in. He's fucking glued to the seat even though he's going 25 miles an hour.
His VTEC kicked in when he was stopping at the stop sign right down the street.
Yeah, that's how you do it, man. You just hold it at red line.
Yeah.
You gotta stay in the VTEC at all times.
You can tell that man's with his VTEC gets some V, dude, just has that VTEC.
Well, he'd like to think that he would, but...
But actually...
Women just don't like him because all he talks about is his car.
All he talks about is how VTEC make noise.
Yeah. He's like, have you heard VTEC? Can I explain VTEC to you?
He's like, I don't even know how it works, but I'm going to explain it to you real quick.
It's Honda's variable valve timing system.
He's like,
let me tell you.
He's like reading the wiki. He's like, patented in 1995. Like, bro, what the fuck?
Hang on, what? Are you reciting a Wikipedia article to me right now?
And he's like, don't interrupt. According to Wikipedia. He does have the Google Home voice.
Imagine someone walks up to you and they're trying to talk to you and they just are reciting an entire Wikipedia article to you.
That'd be fucking funny, dude.
Start to finish.
Grammar and all. Oh, man.
Our editors say this article might have too much technical jargon and needs to be cleaned up.
He reads like the
I
ads.
always know I'm in for a fucking treat when I see an article like that.
With the technical jargon warning.
Yeah, I was trying to look something up for school. I don't remember what, but it was like this article has been deemed to have too much technical jargon and needs to be cleaned up or simplified. And I was like, oh Christ, here we go. Because I'm just trying to read this to find out what I'm actually doing.
And how was it? Was it too much?
Yes. It usually is.
So they're usually pretty good, pretty spot on with it.
Yeah, I would say they're pretty on the money.
On the money, some may say. Fuck, dude, I'm so mad right now that I can't remember what I was gonna say.
Simply just remember.
Oh, thank you. That's actually a good idea. Hang on, let me try. For comedic effect, I was gonna hang up the Discord call. And then
hang on, let me try.
Then I realized that no one on the other end would be able to hear it, so.
That's fair.
Sad, man. God damn it, Chris. What was I gonna say?
You were gonna say that I'm the best friend you ever had, and I'm the best person you've ever met.
Christian,
and I'm definitely not kind of a piece of shit.
No, Chris is the best friend I've ever had. He's the nicest man I ever met. He's so helpful to the community. He does everything he can for others. So helpful,
intelligent,
massive
kind
brain.
Heart.
He has a massive brain on him, dude. Just the largest of brains, the wrinkliest
kind
of
heart,
brains.
Gentle soul.
Giant heart, gentle soul, the wrinkliest of nutsats. just the most elongated, wrinkly scrotum a man has ever had.
It's just
loves VTech.
Oh yeah.
And manual transmissions.
That part's actually true, the last part. Not the VTech thing.
And certainly not the wrinkly sack.
No, that's just smooth like an egg.
It's like a hard-boiled egg.
Yeah.
Oh, you even peel it after, too.
Yeah, I just gotta... It's me getting all the corrosion off. All the fucking... Because I don't shower.
Oh. It's just the battery acid.
Battery acid!
Oh, shit, man. So, Chris, what's your credit score? I just...
Like 40?
40. No, not your IQ.
Oh.
I was just...
What's the lowest it can be? What's funny? What's the lowest it can be? Like 400 or something? That's what it is.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's 400.
That's what it is.
I happened to look at my bookmarks for a second and I saw Credit Karma and I was like, oh, credit.
Jordan, what's your social security number?
Oh, it's 1473478
What's your address?
2275 Fad Street.
Damn. Goddamn.
Flamer Street. Chris, what's your blood alcohol content?
Currently?
Yeah.
70%. I'm about to die.
70%. I would say I'm roughly around 78.5%. So,
I remember in driving school they taught us about that blood alcohol content, and they were like, they listed all what you would have to have in your system to like die or go into a coma or whatever, and it is genuinely like 70% you need to have.
God damn. So. That's a lot of alcohol, dude. How would you? That's like putrid. How do you drink that much, dude?
I don't know. I haven't died of alcohol yet, so I don't know.
I haven't died of alcohol. Yeah. Fucking alcohol, man.
You just start chugging gallons of straight grain alcohol.
What is it? The devil's lettuce or whatever is weed, but instead you got the devil's cum, which is alcohol.
Devil's cum.
The devil's load.
The devil's elixir is what you're looking for, I believe.
Devil's elixir. Was that actually a thing? I was just making that up.
I believe so.
Ah, shit.
I believe so.
Ah, shit.
I'm looking it up right now.
I was just making that up, man. Fuck.
No, apparently it's a novel by E.T.A. Hoffman.
Hoffman. Imagine unironically being named Hoffman.
No, I don't think I will.
Okay. Sorry about it.
Devil's Elixir.
What's it about?
No.
Read the synopsis.
Alright, I'll tell you. It's a novel. It's predominantly a first-person narrative related by... What? By the Capuchin monk Medardus. He is ignorant of his family history, and he knows about his childhood. And what he knows about his childhood is based upon fragments of memory and a few events his mother explained to him. And he can't resist the Devil's Elixir.
Okay.
Which has been entrusted to him, and which awakens in him sensual desires.
Ooh.
This is fucking boring already. Jesus Christ.
Quite boring.
Anyway, it's not what I thought it was. It's a book.
Have you read it?
Oh, wait. Hang on. No, it's a book.
Just a book.
I have not read it. I can't read.
Ah, me neither. Oh, shit, Chris. Shit.
It's hot as fuck in here. I can turn on my fan. Is that gonna break the audio? We'll
Probably,
see.
but we're getting ready to round out anyway, so can't be much more broken than it already is. So
Okay, so if it sounds bad for the last 2 minutes while we do our outro, that's why. It's hot in here and I got my fan on.
he's gotta cool his wrinkly fucking sack.
Yeah, I just got it out waving in the wind right now.
You can just hear just kind of flapping.
Yeah,
It's like when you have the windows open and the blind starts to flutter.
something like that.
Imagine riding a motorcycle naked and then you just feel like a burning sensation.
I don't have to imagine.
Your nutsack touch your exhaust.
You know, actually, the one time I've been on a motorcycle, I clipped the exhaust, or I held my ankle on the exhaust, and that shit hurted, so...
Yeah, I've heard that's not a good idea.
Yeah, like I said, it hurted.
You heard it did?
Yeah.
Hey, what do you think the likelihood is we'll get an announcement that Resident Evil 8 is coming to Game Pass?
I don't know.
Because Resident Evil 7
It depends
is there.
when. It might take some time for it to get to Game Pass.
Maybe, but a lot of games, like Outriders, I mean, there's obviously smaller developers, but they've been on Game Pass day one. Resident Evil 7 is on Game Pass, so I wonder if they're going to bring Resident Evil 8. That'd be pretty sick. Fucking sick.
Yeah, not having to buy it would be pretty cool.
Hell yeah. That would be cool. But,
Why isn't there a Game Pass competitor? There needs to be another service that actually does what Game Pass does, because the whole streaming games thing isn't working.
yeah. Oh, shit. Sony. I don't know if it was Cory Barlog. I think it was just a developer from their studio. That's the studio that made God of War. One of their developers basically went on record to say that Sony is gearing up for their Game Pass competitor. So,
Someone needs to make something.
I mean,
Because think
Yeah.
about Game Pass, and then think about PS Now, and then think about how much better Game Pass is to PS Now.
or what is the GeForce Now as well?
Yeah, GeForce
Stadia.
Now too. That shit sucks.
That sucks.
Stadia, that shit also sucks.
So, Game Pass, I mean, I think Sony is really the obvious one, or Steam. I mean, it would have to be one of those two. Imagine,
Steam would be a good one.
yeah, I mean, I would pay for like a Steam Plus or something where you get like a bunch of shit.
I would pay out the ass for Steam Plus or whatever. I would give them, I would say, right, I'm going to make a bold statement here. I would say even up to $20 a month.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be happy
For
about
what,
it,
though?
but
What is your criteria? Like, what do you need to receive for that $20 a month?
having just like a shitload of games be included.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm talking like 60% of what's on Steam.
That's a shitload. That is certain. I can attest that is a shitload.
That's like 3,000 games or something.
That's true.
No, it's more than that. That's like 5,000 games.
Let me see. I'm gonna look up. How many games are on Steam. As of, let's see, wait, number of games released worldwide from 2004 to 2020. Nope, that's not it. Let me see. Complete individual games, and this is as of 2019. Nope, that's gonna be way outdated. All the articles are from January 2019 because I guess they hit a milestone of 30,000. So currently, it looks like February 12th, 2021. It looks like there's a total of 50,000 games listed on Steam.
Okay, so I want like 60% of that. So that's like 30,000 games?
Let me see. 50,000 times 0.06.
It's 3/5 of 50,000, Jordan. It's 30,000.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, exactly. 30,000. I got COVID brain, right?
You got stupid idiot brain.
Oh, you know what I wanted to talk about, Chris? I guess I can throw it in. Maybe I'll move it.
Just talk about it now.
Yeah, no, I will. I'll probably move it to the beginning. I had a fucking putrid customer 2 days ago.
Really?
A fucking putrid guy. This dude calls.
Putrid.
So keep in mind, right? I'm obviously tech support. So this guy calls. He has a technical question, and essentially, the technical question was the product that he bought, the display, essentially was in Spanish, and he starts the call by saying, "Hey, I got a little problem," and he starts talking like, "Is it what the fuck's the old original Joker's name? You have Joaquin Phoenix now, and then the other guy."
Oh, you mean like Batman? Like
yeah, Dark Knight. What the fuck is his name?
Dark Knight.
Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger.
Yeah. He starts talking like Heath Ledger. He's like, I got a problem here. He does like
Got
that.
a little problem.
Yeah.
It ain't about the money.
Exactly, dude. He starts doing that, right? And I'm already like, oh man, what's going on? So, essentially, what happens, right, is my tech support that we handle is for like industrial grade equipment. We don't work on like
no bitch equipment.
Like imagine your average table saw, right? We work on the industrial table saw that's like fucking cutting logs.
Like the sawmill type beat.
Exactly. So for our product, it's all about industrial. So he basically says his product is in Spanish, and I'm like, oh okay, yeah, that's obviously not good. And I straight up tell him, I say, what is this like model of this product? And he tells me it, and I'm like, okay, so that's a residential style, like average user equipment. So I tell him like, okay, so I can get you over to this team who can help you with that. Because unfortunately, I can't do anything on my end. And he goes, no. He literally goes like this. No. It's not about what you can't do. I don't care about what you can't do. The problem is it's in Spanish. That's what he says to me.
I don't care about what you can't do. Sir, I can't help you. I don't care. It's in Spanish, damn it.
So, basically, the call kind of goes on. I'm talking to him. He's yelling, essentially, at me. Just kind of yelling, raising his voice, interrupting me. And it got to the point where he interrupted me, and I just go, can you listen to me for a minute? And then I tell him again that he needs to go. I need to send him over. So he goes, fine, send me. Right? So I go, okay, let me give you the number just in case the transfer doesn't go through. That was the worst thing I've ever said, right? Because I go, let me give you the number, and he goes, I don't have a pen and paper. And I go, okay, but the transfer might not go.
I don't give a shit.
I literally,
find
very
one.
nicely, I go, again, the transfer might not go through, and I don't want you to get stuck, basically calling back in and getting stuck on hold. Can you just get a pen and paper and write the number down or do what you gotta do? And then he fucking screams. He goes, I'm an old man. I'm outside. I don't have a paper. Sorry. And I was like, and then I got pissed at this point. So I just go, all right, I'm just gonna transfer you. Good luck. That's literally what I said to him. And I go, hope it works out for you. So I go to start transferring, and then he's like, do you have a manager? And I'm like, well, yeah, of course I do.
Everyone
and he's
does,
like,
yes.
He's like, well, I want to speak to him. And I said, all right, sure thing. So I brought on our boss, and our boss talked to him. He yelled at our boss same way he yelled at me. Eventually, our boss was like, yeah, no, he's right. We can't do anything at all for you. We're sorry you're having this issue, but like you gotta, bear with us. You gotta work with us here. So I transferred him. He didn't write down the number. I can almost bet you my left testy that he didn't get through because usually it's tough to transfer from both sides of the company. So
Honestly, I wouldn't have a tolerance for that shit. As soon as he was like, no, you need to help me, I'd be like, no, sir, I'm going to transfer you. I can give you the number as well if you'd like, because the transfer is iffy. But I'm going to transfer you, whether you like it or not. Have a nice day.
So, here's the best part, right? After all this, I talked to our boss, and I'm explaining to him, I straight up told him, I was like, I think I might have yelled at the guy. That's what I told him. I was like, I probably shouldn't have, but I kind of raised my voice at him. And our boss was like, oh, you can, like, listen in to your calls, right? Like, you can go back and listen to it. And I was like, oh, really? That's kind of fucking cool. So I pull it up on my computer, and we're in, like, a meeting together, like a video chat, talking about it. And I pull it up on my computer, and I'm like, oh, yeah, check that out. I can listen to the audio. You know what he can do? He can pull up the call, hear my audio, and see all of my monitors and what I was doing. It's...
So you can see if you were jerking off?
if I had like a video meeting going, I was like, yes, basically. But, dude, it's so fucking cool that he can do that. I was, like, blown away. So we basically... He listened back to the whole call with me, because it was only about 12 minutes, I think, 12 or 13. Maybe 15 at most. So we listened back to the whole thing up until I got him involved. And it turns out I didn't yell quite like I thought I did. And according to our boss, I handled it extremely well. And I was like, okay, well, that's good. So...
I imagine you were probably like, sorry, I need you to listen to me.
So what I literally said verbatim was I started talking, right? And he kept doing this thing where I would be talking, and he would start talking, and then he'd go, no, stop interrupting me. And I was the one talking first. So after one of the times when I was trying to explain the transfer and he did that, I went, can you listen to me for a minute? That's all I said. And I just stopped. And then he was like, yeah, fine, whatever. And then I just kept going on. So that was like the closest I got to basically yelling at him, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess there's like... I can, I don't know. I feel like if I did a similar thing, like customer service, I can phrase things in a way that are like, it's nice enough, like customer service friendly, but it's like, I'm telling you to fuck off right now, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I try to avoid that. I'm a very sarcastic person in nature.
A very good one is like, oh, there seems to be a disconnect here.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Like kind of like almost like a condescending statement.
Or like, per my last email. I did that a lot in my last job. I did an IT job. My last job, I did that.
Yeah, per my last email, or as I stated earlier.
Yes.
I'm a...
Rather than saying, if you can fucking read.
Yeah, basically. I'm a very sarcastic person, just naturally, so that's one thing I try to avoid at all times, because I can get very, very sarcastic and condescending. And very few people have a tolerance for sarcasm in the world, so, sarcasm is one of the greatest forms of evil.
That's also my thing. A lot of things I say don't land right, because my tone doesn't really change when I'm being sarcastic versus when I'm not.
Yeah, honestly, I've noticed with you, it's more your facial expression, but if you don't know you well enough, you're not going to pick it up.
Yeah, you definitely, I'll definitely do something funny, like I'll raise my eyebrows or something.
Yeah. But if no one knows you well enough, then...
That's the thing, is like, I'll say something in a sarcastic manner. That's like, if I talk to someone who doesn't know me very well, I'm very, very clear on sarcasm. When I say something sarcastic, it's always like blatant sarcasm rather than like
beating around the bush.
To kind of be looking at me.
Yeah, made sense. But He was my most curmudgeonly fucking customer. Oh, one of the lines he hit me with. So one of the things I said, right, and our manager was fucking crying, laughing, because this is where the sarcasm kind of took over, because I started to genuinely get angry. Was one of the first things he said when he was bitching about his thing being in Spanish, he goes, well, this isn't Mexico. So, when I interrupted,
good goddamn what it is.
When I hopped in and said, like, you need to listen to me, and he stopped and started listening, I literally go, it was so funny, because I don't even remember saying it. It was just listening back. I was like, oh, goddamn. I literally went, I get it. Just as you stated, this is not Mexico. I get that you don't live there. But, and I just go off on like a tangent about the fucking thing. I'm like, oh man.
Believe it or not, sir, these machines go to non-English speaking countries, as hard as it may be to believe.
Well, the best part is we suspect the machine wasn't even in, like, Spanish. It may have just had an error message on the display that was, like, you know, some sort of error, like ERR, and that's error, and then there's a number, and he was probably like, what the hell is this? That's a Spanish thing. Like...
it's like when, again, I got this a lot when I worked IT, was like, people saying, oh, it's all Greek to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I guess maybe he meant it in a literal sense.
Yeah, he probably... Yeah.
It's all Spanish to me.
Yeah, basically. That's kind of like what we were thinking he might have been getting at, is it's like, this is essentially Spanish to him, but it's probably just a fucking error message or something. Have you
considered this,
the
Jordan?
best part is, right, he's flipping out about the machine and how he can't get the model number because he's outside, right? So I tell him where to look on it. I ask him to go inside, look at the model, and tell him where to find it. And he finds it after bitching for like 10 minutes. He finds it. And then he states again that he's outside. So I corrected him. I'm like, how are you outside if you just got the model number from inside? And you didn't move. You said you were in the same place you were before. And he didn't like that either. So I would love to just, perfect world, I would have been like, oh yeah, that's nice. It's in Spanish. Fuck you, racist bitch. And just hung up. So.
Just learn Spanish, idiot.
Google Translate, dumbass, and just hang up.
Como se dice, I don't give a fuck.
Tu homo, boy. But, yeah. Anyway, fuck that guy. Round us out, Chris. I just figured that would be a good,
We got off the rails there,
But, no, I think this was not bad for a remote episode, so.
No, this actually went a lot smoother than I had initially thought it would have.
We say that, but I haven't had to edit it yet.
Well, I think editing's going to be a bit of a nightmare, but...
That's fine. Editing usually doesn't take me long. I mean, once it's synced, as soon as I sync it, I'm just going to merge the two audio tracks into one. Well, I'll keep them on. I'm going to group them. I'm not going to merge them. That way I can change us independently and cut out the fucking VTech guys behind me. But, yeah. Alright, that was a good episode. Good remote episode. Thanks for listening, guys. Chris, round us the fuck out, boy.
Okay, so this has been the Synapse Misfire Podcast.
What episode?
I've been your host, 37, Jordan.
Yeah.
I have been your host, and Jordan has been your co-host. And we will still be your hosts next week. So...
Alright, bye.
Where can the people find us? Remind them.
What a great episode. What a great outro, man. So lively. You can find us if you're interested in sticking around with us or going back, listening to some old episodes. You can find us. YouTube. We have IRL content that are uploaded pretty irregularly. Potentially some gaming videos coming up. Of course, the podcast is always there every week as well. If you want to listen in your favorite podcasting app, our RSS feed is down in the description. You can import that. We're also on a lot of podcasting apps natively. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Breaker, Radio Public, Pocket Casts. And that's about it for native apps. So you can then import, again, the RSS. You can contact us via email, synapsemisfire@pm.me. Comments, questions, concerns, death threats, recommendations for content you'd like to see, perhaps, on the YouTube channel. And also, send us some gift cards. Chris will take anything edible. And I will basically take Amazon or Dunkin'. That would be my two pits.
Send us money.
Basically. Subscribe to Chris's OnlyFans. And follow us on Instagram, Synapse Misfire, because apparently the official Synapse Misfire podcast was a little bit too condescending. So.
It's too pretentious, Jordan.
It's too much. It's too much.
It's too much.
It's going to be a running bit where I'm just going to always reference the fact that you said it was too much. Anyway, well, that's that. That was the remote episode, and hopefully next episode we'll be together in each other's arms.
Yeah, lovingly.
Sexually, incredibly sexually.
Perhaps.
But yeah. You all right there, buddy?
No, I'm good. Anyway, I can't say get out of my house, but
get out of this call.
Yeah, delete Discord.
I'm gonna uninstall Discord. I'm going to
actually take your hard drive and start drilling holes in it.
Chris, what do you take me for? Did you really just use the H word?
Oh, I'm sorry. You fucking. Again, I was gonna say the word. Just take your SSDs and just start ripping chips off.
Yeah,
them.
I'm gonna desolder my main memory chip on the SSD.
And eat it.
Ooh, yeah, and then I'm gonna shit it out after I get past the TSA, and I'm gonna take Red Dead 2 on that chip with me, in my ass.
Yeah, and then solder it back to another SSD, and then you can play Red Dead 2.
Exactly, in like Mexico or something. Anyway, thanks for listening, guys. I have a lot of editing to do on these.
That's it.
All right,
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, my friend.